the Gould Mine podcast.
Jim, welcome to Gould Mine.
Danny, thanks for having me, man. Excited to be here.
Yeah, man. No, this is going to be a lot of fun, and you know, and learning about you and learning about kind of like what got you to where you are right now. You didn't start you weren't always in real estate, right? It's not like you came out of school and immediately jumped into it. You were in corporate America for quite some time. So walk us through what you did before and what got you excited about getting into real estate and what kind of like got you to pivot.
Yeah, you know, what's funny is it felt like an eternity and quite some time, and it ended up being about 18 months. But when you're 22 and not wanting to be in corporate America, it felt like an eternity, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I started out, I had like an internship for a self-made billionaire. That was just a unique opportunity, and it was only a 2-week thing. Then I worked for a company in corporate America. Just knew within the first few minutes that it wasn't for me. And it wasn't that they had great benefits. You know, if I was still working there, I would probably only be working like 30 weeks a year. Like that's how good of benefits this company has. But, you know, I mean, I got the taste of what being an entrepreneur means and what you can do from that self-made billionaire, right? And flying around in private jets, drinking $1,000 bottles of champagne. And then then to go to, you know, kind of working for the man, so to speak, I was like, okay, I want to be an entrepreneur and know what value I can create and if I can make it go or not. So I got in, I was 23 years old when I got into real estate, or maybe 23 turning 24, something like that.
Yeah.
Graduated college when I was 22. So, but yeah, now I feel, you know, I just turned 40. So, you know, better part of 2 decades doing this whole thing makes me feel old, Danny.
Yeah.
I feel really old. Even though I'm not that old, you know.
Yeah, no, it's funny. Well, I mean, look, man, I get it. Cause, I'm 33, and when I turned 30, I had this like existential crisis. I felt like my life was over. And now, you know, when I started this show a year ago, I've had so many guests on here, and it's kind of refreshing to hear everyone's stories. And you know, I've had a lot of people who are younger than me. In fact, it's just funny. Like the first 7 guests I had on, I think were like all like under 30-year-olds and like just crushing it. And I was so sad. I was like, dude, I'm so behind, you know? And then, but over, you know, I think so the law of averages kind of kicks in, and had a lot of guests now, who like yourself have been in it for now, you know, almost 2 decades plus, and have managed to, you know, really build quite the portfolio and have a lot to bring to the table, because now you've been through some shit, right? Like you've seen the cycles, you've seen the markets and everything. And I'm sure that we'll get into that. And it's interesting that you kind of had that epiphany while working, your job. I kind of had a similar thing. But I realized that when I was like 13, 14, it was 14, I think. I was like a freshman, sophomore in high school. And my dad worked for a company, very corporate America, you know, Fortune 500 kind of company. And dude, like, yeah, the guy graduated from MIT, you know, basically with like, you know, a PhD in like nuclear physics. And it just like, yeah, he's a smart dude, but completely undervalued for his skill set and the work that he put in to get there. So when I saw that, I realized I never wanted to work for anyone ever. Like I was never going to work for anyone. And so it sounds like you kind of the same thing through your own path, through your own journey, figured out like, hey, this is not it.
Yeah. And my parents, they were kind of, teacher, IT guy, believed in going to school, getting a job, kind of going that route. And I remember thinking like, they really put like almost like the fear of God in me, like, hey, oh my God, you want to start your own business? Why would you ever want to do that? And so, I mean, it took me probably an extra year from when I really wanted to do it to build up the courage and kind of break through to do that. And I remember thinking, if I was on my deathbed, who would I rather be? A person that went broke but knew and got into the game and didn't always have this real estate investing thing on his heart, or a person that played it safe, had a little bit of money at the end of the day, and had a comfortable life, but I knew. And I decided that I would rather know and completely go broke than not know and not take that chance. And I'm fortunate I did. 18 years later, whatever it's been.